Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for our discussion on Nectar of Devotion Detailed Studies under this Sastra, what they call, marathon. So, my humble obeisances to all of you and thank you, Vaishnava, Kripa Prabhu, Vivan Prabhu, Kesavan Prabhu, Tarpiya Saras Mataji and Nanda Mataji for joining us for today's discussion. And first of all, I would like to apologize on Monday's sudden technical glitch. So, So what we're going to do, we're going to start again, all right? Because of course we did halfway, then after 1 hour the thing went off. So I think it's worth doing it again. Ask that AI a company. Who's that asking? AI companion. Okay, let's start. Okay. All right. So anyway, so that's the thing. My humble apology. So we're going to do it again, and today and also tomorrow. All right. So now then, before we start, so our usual practice, we do our invocation prayer. We invoke auspiciousness. We pray to our spiritual master and all the Guru Parampara for their causeless mercy that we can understand what they call this book called The Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, as you know, it is a very detailed studies and the law book of devotional service. So just a quick recap how the book was written. All right. This Lord Chaitanya met Rupa Goswami at this Ramakeli, and for 10 days he spoke on the confidential part of devotional service. After that, what Rupa Goswami did, he went and surveyed all the books. He went and did all the detailed studies of entire Shastra, the entire Shastra, and he compiled this book called Nectar of Devotion. But the 10 days instruction to Rupa Goswami, it is also documented, and there's a book called TLC or Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So now in this Nectar of Devotion, it is the detailed study. That's why we can see that a lot of quotations are quoted. Okay. So the book that has been summarized by Srila Prabhupada was so intense. That means he have taken the cream of the cream. All right. And of course, there's a devotee here. And what happened? He went and quoted, okay, where he got this, where he got the thing. So we have that, what they call the Sanskrit verse. The book, Nectar of Devotion, that Prabhupada is saying, there's no Sanskrit. It's straight away commentary. All right. So like that. So by studying this Prabhupada's book, we are well assured that we can go deep into this subject matter, devotional service. Because this devotional service, it is very, very, very rare opportunity a person can get. It is not something that you got it out of luck, or maybe you're looking for some spiritual institution, or maybe you're looking for some kind of center like Divine Life Society, Sai Baba. There's a lot of other centers like that. You just stumble upon this place. No, to be here, it is something that you are being blessed. And that also we understood in chapter 1, because today we're going to do chapter 2. In chapter 1, that it says that this devotional service, it is something that has been, we got it maybe from our prolonged pious activity, or maybe you are continuing from your previous birth. So the pure devotional service is very rare. And of course, and if you can get it, it is your greatest boon in life. Therefore, to unlock the devotional service to us, to unlock this pure devotional service, it is not by our own scholarship or our own, what they call, so it is not through our own scholarship or through our own intelligence that we can study the book and we become expert in it. It doesn't work that way. It has to be unlocked. All right. It has to be unlocked by the spiritual master. When we look at the ocean, okay, we can say even a child also can give interpretation about the ocean. All right. The sea has wave, has strong wind. The wind blows the, what they call the water, and it creates what they call a wave, so-called. And And sometimes you see the wave is shallow, and there's there's another place is a big wave. In Tamil, we call unkadal, pin kadal. All right, unkadal, pin kadal. I'm not sure whether you heard that or not. Pin kadalna, that and the இடம் வந்து எப்படின்னா it has a slow wave. Unkadalna, it has a big wave. All right, it has a big wave. Unkadal. Okay. I remember reading somewhere, but I also remember my uncle used to talk about this, unkadal, pin kadal. இது pin kadal குளிக்கலாம், unkadal குளிக்க கூடாது, ஏன்னா அலை பெரிய அலை வரும். So அந்த மாதிரி lot of interpretation. So is that the interpretation? The ocean are given to every being to enjoy and to relish, to unwind. But the thing is, it has lot of so sometimes when we meet a lifeguard, they have a different interpretation. Then you go further, you go into what they call a sailor, they have a different interpretation. Then you go to the marine, the coast guard, they have a different interpretation. Then you go to the marine biology, they got a different interpretation. So marine biology, they know the ocean in depth because they always go deep into the ocean and find out all the secret and all the treasure the ocean is keeping. So like that. So the ocean is given to us, and of course, it's how you interpret the ocean. It is entirely in your awareness and your exposure. Similarly, the Vedas are given to everyone. It has a Bhagavatam is printed, the Bhagavad Gita is there, Nectar of Devotion, everything is there. But only by the mercy of spiritual master, the secret in between the words can be unlocked. Without the mercy of spiritual master, the bona fide spiritual master, there's no way you can discover the detailed things. Even if you can go into that discover, but the thing doesn't stick in your mind. Even if the thing stick in your mind, it is not possible that we can even practice that. We have seen people who are very highly qualified. They have got PhD in Bhagavatam, PhD in all this kind of Gaudiya Vaishnava literature. But when we look at their character, when you look at this, we know that that person is only technically and theoretically studied and understood, or maybe relish it. How the relishment comes, how the relishment comes. Say, like, for instance, if I were about to get married, if I want to get married, so then first thing is I have to look for a girl. There's so many girls around me. Then particularly I choose one girl, either by introduction, recommendation, or by my own effort. So I get one girl. So after I get that, after I find a girl, then I approach the girl, then I talk to her. Then when I talk to her, it's superficial. But once the relationship is established, that means, in other words, we fall in love. So that's when we say, example, like, okay, give you a mundane example so everyone can understand. Say, like, we go for a date. We go for a date, holding hand, walking, looking at things in a different angle. No, that's when you relish the relationship. Okay, the relishment happens by reciprocation. That means I love you, you love me. Reciprocate. It doesn't happen theoretically. People cannot read a love story and be theoretically in relationship. It doesn't work that way. It is emotional. And that emotional, it takes two. It takes two to tango, right? So it takes two to people to exchange their feeling. Similarly, all right? So Krishna is there hidden within these words. Even though he looks outside, even he looks revealed, but the revelation only happens only by the mercy of the spiritual master. Okay, by when he reveal the thing, when we study that, then that's when we get what they call that means we unlock the treasure box of Krishna Prema. All right, and through that, after we unlock that what they call the thing, and that's when the reciprocation starts, and that's when we start to relish. Therefore, it is always important that we should offer our gratitude to our spiritual master on a daily basis, at least twice. It's recommended at least twice. All right. So first thing in the morning, you should pay obeisances to your spiritual master, and last thing at night before you go to bed, you also have to offer your obeisances to your spiritual master. And in between, and also this also say like 3 Sandhya. First thing in the morning during Mangalarati, and in the afternoon during that morning, noon, there's in between. And of course, evening to dusk, that's another thing. All right. So like that, we have to offer our obeisances during these three plays, that we should offer our gratitude. Without the mercy of spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, it is not possible that we can sit here and study this great literature, which is translated into English, into a simple English. It's translated into a simple English. And through the translation from the simple English, it's also further translated into all the other languages. And Srila Prabhupada have given an analogy, example, which is practical in this material world for the Western people. Example, like yesterday, I was reading about the pastimes and the glories of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also have already given and translated and created the writings around 1830s, 1850s, if I'm not mistaken. 1830 was born when he was 27. Around 1857, something 1857, 1860, when he started to write, he wrote it in a way which is practical, where it is suit the Western mentality. We can say we are Indians, fair enough, but we are Indians not from India. We are Indians in foreign land. And of course, even in India, the Indians are rotten. The Indians has already taken up this atheistic mentality, have taken up this modern way of life. So that means the Indians are basically this thing. Even in India, it's happened. The land of Dharma, it is happening like that. How about us who are born in the land of Adharma? All right. Like few days ago, we have seen how cruelly the cow has been massacred. I should say the word massacred. 22,000 cows, 10,000 goats were slaughtered on that festival. And yesterday was Tuesday, right? Yesterday, was it Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Day before yesterday. First thing, when I was sending my daughter, she got a Form 6 when she was traveling. There's a place that, I don't want to mention, there's one particular religious establishment. Okay. And it's just by the roadside, beside the police station, before the Medankit roundabout. There's a place we saw one cow was tied. My daughter said, oh my God, the cow is tied, right? Tied to the tree. But after I sent her, on the way back, I saw they just slaughtered and the cow was like, early in the morning, I saw the cow got killed. So in this kind of place, how are we supposed to understand? How are we supposed? So that's why we also consider that in a Western culture. And because to teach us the Western mentality. So therefore, Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote the book in such a way that it is pleasing, all right, which is understandable. And Srila Prabhupada is even fantastic because he gave that analogy according to the modern environment, modern society. All right. So we offer obeisances to them. It's very important. Without their mercy, it is not possible that we are here. All right. If you really sit and think the place that we born and grew up, and without their mercy, they sacrificed their whole life. Srila Prabhupada and all his disciples, they sacrificed their whole life. The sannyasi should not stay in one place for more than 3 days. Imagine the sannyasis are traveling from one place to another place without a break. Stay here 3 days, then go to another place 3 days. And like that, they are going 24/7, 365 days since the day they have taken the vow, because of the commitment towards Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, let's offer our respectful obeisances. In your mind, you just meditate on your spiritual master, on Srila Prabhupada and entire Guru Varga. Just imagine, all right, just in your meditation, you are offering a very beautiful flower. Just try to think the most beautiful flower that you can manifest in your imagination, all right? Or the most beautiful garland that you can think that you can manifest in your imagination. Offer that garland to that spiritual master and offer that petals of that garland at their lotus feet and pay obeisances in your mind and thank them for this causeless mercy. Therefore, let's start doing our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूत परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदं सह गण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाणी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने just give me a second the call coming in namo vishnu श्री वर्ष बनावी देवी दयिताये कृपा दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्यो ज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपनुग भक्तिर श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्ताये दीनातारिणे रूपनुग विरुदा पसितांत ध्वांत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर संबोधे पादांबुजयते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगवरायते गौरवीर्भव भूमेस्त्वं निडस्त सज्जन प्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः. Now let's pay our obeisances to all Vaishnava devotees. Vancha kalpata rubhyascha kripa sindhubeva paditanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ओम महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेमा प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने करोति से नमः पंच तत्वत्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते ताप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठ पुतली श्रीमती जय पताक स्वामी नामिनी नामाचार्य पादाय नित्य कृपा प्रदायिने गौर कदतामदाय नगर ग्रामतारि. Hare Krishna. All right, so let's start. Where we is it recording? Okay. Okay. So we do the first stages of devotional service. अग्रतो वक्ष्यमाणाय त्रिधा भक्तिर अनुक्रमात् द्विशसद्भि पदैर् एतन्माहात्म्यं परिकीर्तितम्. So now here Bhakti Rupa Goswami is explaining about the what they call the three categories of devotional service. All right. So there's a three categories of devotional service. We mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, listed as devotional service in practice. Number one is sadhana bhakti. Devotional service in practice we call as sadhan bhakti. Second is devotional service in ecstasy, bhava bhakti. And number three is devotional service in pure love of Godhead, which is called prema bhakti. There are many subheadings. That means under these, there are also many subheadings. That means there's also a detailed explanation in each of these categories. But generally, it is understood. That means generally, it is understood that in this category of devotional service in practice, that means in this category of devotional service in practice, there are two different qualities, right? Two different qualities. And devotional service in ecstasy has 4 qualities. And devotional service in pure love have 6 qualities. Please underline this statement. All right. So that means, first thing is, we understand that generally, generally what happened, the category of devotional service in practice. In sadhana bhakti, there are 2 different qualities. Okay, in sadhana bhakti, because we are going to do detailed studies, you should understand. Because if you want to be a pure devotee, you should understand the step 1. Just imagine, okay, now you go to standard 1. So you go to kindergarten, the preliminary learning. So you should understand there is a nursery, then kindergarten. Then you go to school. We understand there's a primary and secondary and STPN, all right? Pre-university. Then you go to the university. Then you understand there is a diploma, there's a degree, there is a master's, and there's a PhD. Like that, in every category got many subheading. You all understand? So now, in the category of devotional service practice, that means sadhana bhakti, there are 2 different qualities. Then in ecstasy, that means when you talk about bhava, in bhava there is 4 qualities. Okay? And in prema, in pure love, there are 6 qualities. All right. So, you all, I hope you all are following me. Yeah. Thumbs up if you're following me. All right. Okay. Great. All right. So we understand. So now all these things we're going to learn in this chapter. All right. This is the thing that we're going to learn until the end. The entire what they call Nectar of Devotion is going to explain on this. All right. So all this will be explained by Rupa Goswami later on. Okay. Now let's see. Kim cha Swalpapi ruchir eva syat bhakti tattvavabodhika yuktischa kevala naiva yat asya apratistata. Okay, it's in 1145. What is 1145? First wave, I mean eastern wave, Eastern Ocean, first wave, text 45. Not like Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, text 45. Not that. This is you all do remember in Nectar of Devotion, it is 1145, 2345. That means first one means what? It's the Eastern Ocean. One is in a first wave, and text is 45. In this connection, Rupa Goswami suggests that a person, that means he gives a suggestion that a person eligible for Krishna consciousness, which is also called as devotional service, can be classified by his particular taste. So that means if a person were eligible, okay, it can be classified according to your taste, according to your rasa or svabhava or your original distinct. You know, because I remember when I became a devotee, all right, when I became a Hare Krishna devotee in 1993, October, during Damodara month, right? So that time, I remember I was thinking, so what should I do? I remember there's one particular devotee was saying, devotional service is very simple, because these things stick in my mind till today. Devotional service is simple. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada says, even Lord Chaitanya also says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One day, if we are blessed to study that book, we will go to that verses also. He says, you work and perform your devotional service according to your nature. What is your nature? Act accordingly. All right. So that's what he says here. A person eligible in Krishna conscious or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste. All right. That means his particular taste. The word to consider. He says that now one can take to devotional service unless he had some previous connection with it. Now, what he says, second statement, he says, no one, no one can take to devotional service. No one, unless he had some previous connection with it. If you don't have connection, you won't be here. Who are the people who are starting off? Maybe they are just want to come and just have a look and just go off. Or come for Sunday program, just have some nice prasadam and go off. These are the people maybe starting. But for those who are really sitting here and studying all these kind of books seriously, so that means they should have some kind of previous connection. For example, suppose in this life I practice devotional service to some extent, even though it is not 100% perfectly performed, whatever I have done will not be lost. Please understand that. Whatever I have done, it is not to be lost. In my next life, from the very point that is stopped. See, like you stop your bhakti in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 2, what? First paragraph. Yes, first paragraph. That's it. So you will be born again and you're going to continue from second paragraph. Because this is from the very point where I stop in this life, I shall begin again. In this way, there's always continuity. There's always continuity. But even there is no continuity, example, all right, even if there is no continuity, even if by chance a person takes interest in a pure devotee's instruction, all right, even there is no continuity, if only by chance, that means there's no continuity, but even if by chance a person takes interest in pure devotee's instruction, he can be accepted and can advance in devotional service. That means, number one, you are continuing from your previous birth. If not, you accept, you meet a pure devotee and the pure devotee giving you instruction. Maybe the pure devotee is telling you, oh, you are smoking is bad for your health. You should give up. It's not for the sake of health. It's sake of morality. And it's not easy to practice chant Hare Krishna if you're a smoker. Oh, you should not eat meat. It's not good. It is full of cruelty. No animal is happily give their body to be eaten. It is struggle. It's crying. It is in agony. You are part of that cry. And actually you're killing it and you're eating it as a dead body. You are eating a carcass. You are eating a carcass. Huh? And your stomach cannot digest it. So you have to cook it to eat it. Because if you don't cook, your stomach cannot digest. So that means it's not this, oh, really? Okay, I listen to you. All right, then they say, wow, the pure devotee is good. Then you start to associate with them. Even by doing that, there's no continuity. Even by chance you meet a pure devotee, he can advance in devotional service. Anyway, for a person who have natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, a devotional service is easier than those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation and argumentative process. So he says, but those people who love to read, for them, this devotional service can be much easier than those who love to have mental speculation and argument. I know, I don't want to mention because since it's a recording and it's going to be on YouTube, one of my close relation, all right, he is more into scientific. And being a scientific person, he had a fantastic mental speculation. And he loves to argue. He thinks he's hell of a great. So for these kind of people, it is not easy. Even if one day if he becomes a devotee, his natural tendency of arguing and speculating still there. So it takes some time to clear that until you come to the level of stability. But for those people who love that natural taste, understanding book and all this, like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, for them to accept and to adapt to devotional service, it is much more easier. So in text 46, Rupa Goswami says, Tatra prachinair apyuktam yatena padito pyarta kushalair anumartibir abhiyukta tarair anyair antyayaivo papadyate. To support this statement, there are many authoritative assertions by who? By the learned scholars of bygone ages. To support this statement, well, those who can easily accept is the one who read, and the speculators is very hard to take. And to support this statement, many authoritative assertion or commentation by who? By the learned scholars of bygone ages, by the previous acharyas, according to their general opinion. So generally, right, before they go into detail, generally, a person may become governed by a certain conviction derived by his own argument and decision. All right. A person may become governed. That means become controlled, become attached by a certain conviction. Conviction means his belief system, which derived means which came from his own argument and decisions. Then another person who may be greater logician, right? Who's a greater logician. For him, everything must be logic. That means can be seen, can be understood. Okay? Will nullify this conclusion. Will nullify means what? Will remove, will destroy this conclusion, right? Will destroy. Okay, like for instance, the logician says, now I cannot see God. Where is God? And sometimes they say, your God, my God, Muslim God, Hindu God, Christian God. All right. And they say, because they are so convinced that they are God, that means this kind of logician. So what they'll do, they will nullify this conclusion. They cannot come to that proper conclusion. And sometimes what they do, they'll establish another thesis. They say, now look here. Logically, God means love. God means compassion. All right. God means mercy. If you can have compassion. If you can have mercy, you are God. You know, why you need to go look for somewhere else? Why you need to look for someone that cannot be seen? Why not be the person? You say God is all merciful. Why not you become merciful? God is all compassion. Why not you become compassion? God is all love. Why not you become a lovely person? So this kind of logicians, atheistic view. All right. So what they will do, they will nullify, they'll confuse these people and they'll establish another thesis. In this way, the path of argument will never be safe and conclusive. Rupa Goswami mentioned and Srila Prabhupada is commenting. That is, path of argument, simply arguing will never be safe or conclusive. You cannot come to a proper conclusion. Srimad Bhagavatam recommends, therefore, that one follow the footsteps of authorities. All right. So we should follow the footsteps of authorities. Why we need to follow the footstep of authority? Because they followed the footstep of their authority. Like that is a what they call? It's the passing of authority. After you perform that authority, you follow that authority very nicely. In the future, you will be authorized to be an authority, and you can authorize others. So others will follow you. If in between you change the plan, you change this, everything will become haywire. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam suggests, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just follow what the previous Acharya did. That is much safer. Iti Sri Bhakti Rasa Mritta Sindau Purva Bhage Bhakti Samanya Lahari Pratama Dvitiya Lahari Sadhana Bhakti Sa Bhakti Sadhana Bhava Prema Cheti Tridodita. So now we are going to talk about Purva Bhage Bhakti Samanya. All right, which is called sadhana bhakti. Sa bhakti sadhana. All right, first is sadhana bhakti bhava. Second is bhava. And third is prema. Sa bhakti sadhana bhava prema cheti tridodita. There is three kind. Here the general description again. The general says here, the bhakti say that the devotional service given by Rupa Goswami, that description, the general description by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasa Mrita Sindhu. All right. Iti Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhau Purva Bhage Bhakti Samanya Lahari Pradama. That means he says that is the general description. All right. In this thing. So previously it has been stated that devotional service can be divided into three categories. Yes. Namely, practice, sadhana, ecstasy, and prema. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami proposes to describe devotional service in practice. All right, now he says, and now I'm going to speak to you about three Dvitiya Lahari Sadhana Bhakti. Let's talk about Sadhana Bhakti first. Now, it is where the real nectar of devotion is starting. Now, we're going to speak on Sadhana Bhakti, the Bhakti in devotional, this thing. All right, Tatra Sadhana Bhakti. We're going to speak on sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Bhavasa sadhana abhida. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. Prakatyam hirdi sadhyata hirdi in your heart. Practice means employing our senses. Practice means employing our senses. All right. Please underline this statement. So this is going to be very interesting. Okay. So practice means employing senses in some particular type of work. You know, say when we are working, you're using a senses. Example, if you're a doctor, you're using the senses of sight, your eyes, looking at the place where there is a disease. All right. And sometimes when the doctor will hold the thing, oh, I can feel the mold. I can feel something is bulging. They sometimes they put the hand here, that do you have a tonsillitis or something, there's a bunka or something like that, they try. That means they use the senses, the sense of touch, the sense of seeing, right? So like that. So all of us are involved in some kind of particular job by employing our senses. That means, or by using our senses. Therefore, devotional service in practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in the service of Krishna. Please underline this statement. So devotional service in practice, sadhana bhakti means you are going to use your different organs, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, the 5 working senses. That means the first we have 5 senses, eyes, nose, this thing. And we have 5 working senses. We got voice, we got hand, leg, anus, and genitals, right? Then we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. And all the senses are from the organ, like your eyes, your organ of your skin is an organ, your genitalia, and all these kind of different organs are utilized. That means we're going to use whatever things that we have now to serve Krishna. Am I making my point straight? Are you all following me? Please thumbs up if you're following me. Great. Very good. So we are simply going to utilize what we have now, right? Say like, for instance, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? If one offers me with love, water, leaf, right? What is the verse? Palam, patram,
Patram pushpam palam toyam.
huh?
Patram pushpam palam toyam.
Patram toyam palam pushpam. Right. Okay. So we offer some leaves, some fruits, or whatever. So what you have, you give it to Krishna. Krishna doesn't ask you for lavish offering, right? But you have things lavishly and you offer one leaf, it's not fair, lah. It's logic. Krishna will be thinking, I've given you so much of money, but you only offer me one tulasi because I say tulasi. He is putting the standard that anyone, according to your capacity, you can serve me. So similarly now, in devotional practice, sadhana bhakti, you're going to use what you have. All right? You got eyes, you use it. You got your tongue, sing. You got a hand and leg, work for him. Right? Your genitalia, create children for him, create devotees for him. Simply utilize it. So practice means using sense organs in service of Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge. Can you tell me what is the knowledge acquiring senses? I just said. All of you cannot unmute. Right. What is the 5 sense acquiring? Voice.
Eyes, nose, ears.
No. Eyes, nose, ears. No, that is not that.
Acquiring
Sorry, yeah. Acquiring knowledge. Correct. That's
knowledge.
working. Yes. Sorry. Thank you, Mataji. That is knowledge acquiring senses, voice. Okay. So that means the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge is eyes, nose, because eyes you see, you learn, ears you see, okay? And some are meant for executing the conclusion of our thinking. Then that means some senses are meant for acquiring knowledge, and some are meant for executing the conclusion of our thinking, feeling and willing. So what is that? What is these senses now? What is these senses and what is these senses? Right? Can anyone see the difference? Can you give me any difference from here? You understand what I'm saying? What is this knowledge acquiring senses, and how, and after that we gain knowledge and we come to execution of conclusion.
Working senses.
That is knowledge acquiring. That's
Working,
all the senses.
Your thinking, feeling and willing will be working, Babu.
Working? Are you sure? You feel,
because thinking and willing and feeling, you got to finish the job by using your working senses.
Correct. But can you feel, where does the feeling come from?
From the mind.
Exactly. And where the mind stays?
Subtle body, Babu.
Exactly. That's the thing. So acquiring knowledge using your gross body. And after that, you come to the conclusion in your thinking, feeling, and willing, which is in your subtle body. You got it, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the thing. So now you see the two different meaning here. One is external and one is internal. So practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. So that means employing both means employing your gross body and employing your subtle body in this practical devotional service. Are you all following me on this? You all got me? Now, this practice is not, now let's look at this, the next paragraph. This practice is not for developing something artificial. You're not trying to create something artificial. For example, the child learns to practice to walk. Example Prabhupada is giving, child learn to walk. Okay, but the walking is not unnatural. Okay, if a child is trying to walk, that means it is not natural. It is not non-natural. It is natural. A child, after some time, it will learn how to walk because that is natural. இயற்கை இயற்கையா பிள்ளை நடக்க கத்துக்கும். நீங்க கத்து கொடுக்குறீங்களோ இல்லையோ, கையை பிடிச்சி நடக்க வைக்கிறீங்களோ இல்லையோ, பிள்ளை ஒரு காலத்துல தாவலும், தவளை முடிஞ்சு கொஞ்சம் க்ரால் பண்ணும், அதுக்கு மேல ஏஞ்சி நடக்கும், அதுக்கு மேல ஓட ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். அது இயற்கையா இருக்கு. ஏன் அது இயற்கையா இருக்கு? Because the capacity is there originally in the child. அந்த பிள்ளைக்கு இயற்கையாவே அது உடம்புல இருக்கு. Alright? But later with a little practice, he walks very nicely. That is natural. But suddenly a child, suddenly you try to fly using your hand. You know, like how the Wright brothers, first what they did, they tried to, before that you see, you can go back and see how the aeroplane created when the men learn how to fly. They try to make all the wind and they, from the building top, from the top of the mountain, they say they can, they fall to death. All artificial. Because the flying capacity is not inhuman. That is fake. And walking capacity in a human being is natural. Are you all following me? And now, so simply by little practice only, it doesn't take so much of effort. Just with little practice, he walked very nicely. Similarly, Prabhupada is explaining very nicely. Devotional service to the Lord, it is natural instinct. The devotional service to the Lord, it is a natural instinct in every living entity. Then Prabhupada is quoting, even the uncivilized men like Aborigines, like Orang Asli, the Red Indians in Amazon jungle, they are not cultured, they are more into jungle wala, Katuvasi, who doesn't know anything, uncivilized. Even they offer their respectful obeisance to something wonderful, all right, which is exhibited by the nature's law. And they also appreciate that behind some wonderful exhibition, there are something supreme. Sometimes you go to the jungle, you see, among the trees, they take the most beautiful tree. They say, wow, this tree is so beautiful. It looks so different. So they start to worship the tree, thinking that that tree is God. And because inside the tree, there's something which is godly. Right? Even they take the most beautiful stone and keep it as the altar of prayer. Similarly, everybody have some kind of faith. Because it is natural born, it's natural instinct. That's why everybody, you know, I was listening to Bhakti Vijnana Goswami, a sannyasi from Russia. He was the person who was tortured by the KGB and some or other escape. Is a molecular biology scientist, molecular biological scientist, PhD. Right? And of course, he born in a very atheistic family. He is atheist, his father was atheist, his parents were atheists, and his grandmother was a devout Catholic. Right? So when he came in the atheistic way, because he's under the communist regime, Uzbekistan, under the Soviet Union, so he was born there. So he was saying that after the communist bloc, after 70 years of communist collapse, in 1990-91, when Gorbachev came in and made the country democratic, is no longer communist. He got rid of that communist ideology. When the communist ideology disappeared, Immediately, most of the population became spiritual. Immediately, the Hare Krishna, people, one part of the thing became Hare Krishna. Another part, the Seventh Adventist Church was quite popular in Russia. Some joined into Seventh Adventist Church, and some joined this, what they call some Catholicism, and their old Orthodox Christianity. Everything came back. Just imagine 70 years of brainwashing of a two generations. Say one generation atheist, the second generation should be very old enough. Even that the third generation, but still they cannot get rid of the atheistic view because this is something very normal. Okay, sure, no problem. Right. So that means so that means what happened? Immediately the whole nation became very spiritual. And the Hare Krishna in Russia is the most successful. Every Sunday program, they have 1,000 people attending Sunday program. ISKCON Moscow. And people travel 3 hours. Some people travel 2 days from the outer source. You know, somewhere near the Japan border. Okay, there's a place, you know, the Russia is such a wide country. From this corner to that corner. From that corner, people are traveling by 3 days, 4 days by train just to come and attend their Sunday program. That is how dedicated they became. So that's the thing, because it's something, right? Even they are this thing. So you cannot. So in this consciousness, though lying dormant, that means in this consciousness or at this particular consciousness, so this consciousness, though lying dormant, that means the spirituality is lying dormant. That means it's not awakened yet in those who are materially contaminated. All right, because the contamination is so terrible. All right, because of they are lying dormant, that means it's still staying inside. All right, due to the materially contaminated people, it's found in every living entity. All right, so in this consciousness, though lying dormant in those who are materially contaminated, is found in every living entity. In other words, every living entity out there, they have a dormant Krishna consciousness lying asleep in them. That's why when people start to chant Hare Krishna, when they start to practice sadhana bhakti, when they start to go and preach and dance, people easily welcome you. People easily want to talk to you. People easily want to learn from you. People easily want to join you because that is the thing lying dormant. So what we do as a Sankirtan people, we go there and awaken it in them. And when purified, so when that lying, when the material contamination, it becomes purified. Okay, you become a devotee and somewhere or other you start to follow the 4 regulative principle, right? Purified yourself from all the sinful pillar. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, and no meat eating. So once you are purified, okay, you go to sing, and that's the place you called as Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means what? Can anyone tell me what is Krishna consciousness?
To awaken the dormant love for Krishna.
Okay, but there's another meaning of it. There's another meaning for Krishna. What is Krishna consciousness means? We studied in Bhakti Aloka, I think. No. Yeah. No. Harinam Chintamani. What is Krishna consciousness, please?
Pure bhakti.
Exactly. Pure bhakti. Krishna consciousness means pure bhakti. All right. So that means when everything, when we get purified from all this kind of contamination, and that's when we call it as Krishna consciousness, and that's the time that we come to the level of pure bhakti. All right. So now, now there are certain prescribed methods. There are prescription. That means what? There's a certain, that means there are some prescribed method. Say if you go to the hospital, you're sick, doctor give you prescription. And what is that prescription? Why can't they just give you a dispensary, or they could use some other thing? All right. I give you, okay, now I give you this medicine. I give you this medicine. And I go back home, I tell my wife, I tell my children and all this, oh, the doctor gave me this medicine. Why we don't use the word giving, but why we call prescribe? The doctor will say, I prescribe this medicine for you. And I come back home, I tell my wife, the doctor gave me this prescription. He prescribed me to take this. She prescribed me, asked me to take this medicine. Why the word prescription is there? Because prescription, it is authentic and is what I call it, it's basically for you. It is a like a detailed instruction. Let me see. Okay, let me see how can I put it the word. You all following me? So prescription means, okay, you can, okay. Specific, yeah, that's the word. Specific treatment, or it is also called as specific recommendation, or in legal context, they call as a specific rules or right. Okay. So that's the thing, specific. That means they are being specific. So now what Prabhupada is using this word, fantastic. He said there are certain prescription, or in other words, in normal English, we can call it as there are certain rules, or there's a certain, what the word I use for prescription just now? Specific method. We can use certain specific method. But the word specific is still low level, right? Still low level. You know, when we say about happy, how are you? I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling good. All right? I'm happy. I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm delighted. All these are still low level of happiness. But what is the word that we use for high level happiness? We call bliss. When I say, how are you? I'm feeling blissful. What else can you ask for? Bliss means supreme excitement. Bliss means supreme happiness. Bliss means supreme joy. There's nothing. There's the word bliss is the final word. Right? Just imagine you say, I'm very blissful. Really? Wow, I've never heard about that. Similarly, prescription. Prescription means detail. Detail, what they call instruction. That means prescription, it is very important. That means you cannot compromise this. There's no like something like you do no. You know, suddenly I'm having they say I take antibiotic. The doctor asked me to take 3 times for 5 days. After 1 day I feel good, I don't take. No, you can't do that. You have to finish it. That's a prescription. You like it or not, you have to finish it. Similarly, that's a word that we say. So we used to, let's look at Prabhupada's word. Every word carries huge meaning. All right. There's a certain prescription method. For what? For employing our senses and mind. All right. So there is some prescription. How are we going to use? Employing means how are we going to use our senses and our mind in such a way that our dormant consciousness for loving Krishna will be invoked. What is invoked means? Can be awakened. Right? Why we don't use the word awaken? Right? There's a lot of other words. Exactly. So the word invoke means it is a final word on awakening. Invoke. தட்டி எழுப்புறது. தூங்கி இருக்கிற சிங்கத்தை தட்டி எழுப்புறது. Invoking. Creating that environment. That's why we call invocation prayer. Before we start our prayers, we do invocation. We want to invoke. That means we want to create. It's like yagya. When you put the fire comes out. Invoking auspiciousness. So like that. So now there's another thing. So there's a prescription way how we're going to employ our senses and the mind in such a way. That means in the way which is the way that our dormant Krishna consciousness or the love of Krishna can be awakened, can be invoked. As much as the child with a little practice can begin to walk. So what Prabhupada says, as how the little child with little practice can walk. Okay, how are we going to do that? One who has no basic walking capacity. Then Prabhupada explained, but those who don't have any basic walking capacity cannot walk by the practice, cannot walk. Similarly, Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused simply by practice. So Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused just simply by practice. I just do practice only, right? I just come, I chant Hare Krishna. I don't go up to temple. I don't want to see the devotees. I don't associate with anyone. Now I come to the temple. I just do my job. You know, that means you're practicing Krishna. It cannot be aroused. Aroused means what? Of course, there's another meaning of arousal. You know, when you see a woman, you get aroused. You know, You become aroused for that means there's an extreme ecstasy. Aroused means extreme ecstasy, extreme lust. You know, I hope you all are following me. When a man or woman, when they meet each other, that's the thing that of course will lead to sexual relationship, arousal. All right. So similarly, right? Similarly, so now what Prabhupada is explaining, the Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused. You cannot come to the level of prema, ecstasy, bhava by simply practice. Okay, this statement, are you all following me? But it's very important. Do you understand what I said? Thumbs up. Yes, someone understood. How about others? Saras Mataji, Nanda Mataji, Saki?
Can, Prabhu, can understand.
Great. Okay, Kesav.
Okay, Prabhu can understand, but I am cooking. Maybe I am very slow to respond.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. After
Thank
calling
you,
your name,
sir.
I just remembered that day you told me. Okay, sure. All right. So arousal. Arousal means the supreme ecstasy, the supreme prema, simply by practice. But then after this, actually, there is no such practice. When we wish to develop our innate capacity, innate means that means our dormant, that means that we want to wish to develop our real capacity for devotional service, there are certain process which by our accepting and executing them, that means first by accepting, second is by executing, will cause that dormant capacity to be invoked, right? That will make our dormant capacity, the capacity that is lying in our heart, to be awakened. And that such practice is called sadhana bhakti. Such practice is called sadhana bhakti. All right. See, very nicely explained. I hope that you remember this. What is sadhana bhakti? Rest of your life. Memorize it. Feel it. And we are not trying to become a lecturer, author to speak to someone. But this is for your own relishment. Every living and okay, now it's 10 o'clock. Shall we just take a short break? Okay. Now it's 10:07. We just take 2 minutes because the next is going to be even more interesting. Okay. Hare Krishna. I hope all are back. Let's continue. All right. So that is a practice of sadhana. That means we are trying to, what we can understand from here, to Krishna consciousness cannot be, to arouse them, cannot be do it by practice. And we have to follow a certain step, certain process to accept the executing them. And that will cause the dormant capacity to be invoked. Okay. Now, every living entity under the word every is important. Under the spell of material energy. What is that material energy? Maya is held to be in abnormal condition. Remember that, of madness. All right. So all the living entity that is under the spell of Maya, they are actually in abnormal condition. Abnormal condition of what? Of being mad. You know, when a person is sane, but is abnormal, he becomes insane. All right. The body is functioning, suddenly there's something abnormal happening. That means there's some kind of disease there in the body. So abnormality. So abnormality means it is madness. Why? Because people are working so hard to acquire things which is perish one day. I work so hard, okay, to acquire, say like I want a Mercedes Benz. I get a Mercedes Benz. I'm so excited with that car. I work so hard for that car. I work so hard. Then after that, some or other, to maintain that car, I work even harder. Then after that, after 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, the car will become useless. All right. After 11, 12 years, nobody keeps the car. They throw the car away. All right. So that means we are exchanging our life for something which is perishable. And we feel very good about it. That is madness. We work so hard to acquire property, land, house, all that material enjoyment, all which is perish. Sometimes you see, end of the day, I was chanting in the park. Suddenly, one this guy, what they call a Grab food guy, he came. He said, "Can I sit with you?" I said, "Yes." Then he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm chanting." "Oh, okay." It's a Malay guy. Oh, tasbih, ya? Oh, panggil nama Tuhan, oh, bagus lah. Then after that, I just create a conversation. He is there, I couldn't chant further. Then he's telling lah, how come you're so free? I asked him. He said, today, belum gaji lagi, bang. Belum gaji lagi. Esok hari gaji. Esok kita pack habis-habis. Why? They work so hard for the month. When the payday comes, they exchange their hard work for some relishment. They want to eat food. They want to buy food outside. They order from Grab. You know? Then what happened? If a normal day, maybe they just buy a food, maybe cost them around 4-5 ringgit. But when they get a salary, they like to go to this kind of coffee bean and all this kind of place. They buy a coffee worth 11 ringgit, 12 ringgit or 15 ringgit. You see, at the end of the month, you start to see a lot of promotion coming in. Buy one, free one. Zeus coffee, buy one, free one. Buy one, free two. All these kind of things are there. But a beverage that you can drink, maybe cost you maybe 2-3 ringgit, you're spending 15 ringgit, 20 ringgit. But after you take it, to earn that money, you take a lot of effort. Not only for you. You ask your family, you want this, you want that, maybe you buy 100 ringgit worth of beverage. Say like from a Starbucks or whatever, 100 ringgit worth for whole family. Oh, today I got my salary there. You are exchanging that 100 ringgit. That means the work, the slog that you have done. Sometimes you need to do extra overtime to earn maybe extra 40 ringgit, 50 ringgit. Extra hours. Maybe the 3 extra hours overtime, you're exchanging with a beverage. After you drink, within few hours, it is all wasted as a urine. And you feel very good about it. Not you, I'm talking about the people feel very good about it. Then, mid of the month, they shrink themselves. Not enough money. Until middle of the month, until the end of the month, some or other, they live a very low profile life. End of the month comes, they get the salary, they start to enjoy. Eat something very lavishly, go outside and eat for few hundred ringgit. The next morning, everything is wasted in the toilet. So this is madness. All right. So that is abnormal condition. So anything sense gratification in material contentment, in any material things that we think that we want to distinguish, is actually madness. And it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, he says generally, again, Prabhupada used the word generally. Now he's giving a general statement before he go into specific. The conditioned soul is met. So generally, the conditioned soul is met. Because he's always engaged in activities which is cause bondage and suffering. Because he always like to go into things which is going to bind him and suffer. Right? Work extra mile. Like some people go overseas to get a job. And after that, they work there and they get bonded and they, of course, suffer. Because when I used to go to Johor, last time I had a business in Johor, I've seen so many people are working in Singapore. They are suffering. Of course, the salary is high, but suffering. Very dangerous, someone. Very dangerous. Especially they're crossing the border. So much of fatality happening there. Just for the sake of job, they're exchanging their life. Taking a very big risk. So that they can have a lavish life. So there's that. So it's called bondage and suffering. The spirit soul is original. The spirit soul in its original condition. Or in original condition, the spirit soul, what? He is always joyful, blissful, and eternal. He is joyful. He is very blissful. He is eternal and is full of knowledge. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Sat, eternal. Chit, full of knowledge. Ananda, joy, bliss. Only in his implication, the material activities has become miserable. All right? Only his implication. That means the decision that he make in his life. What is the decision he make in his life? And that's why he gets stuck and he suffer. And he become miserable. Then secondly is temporary. Everything that he work for is temporary. And third thing is full of ignorance. They are full of ignorance. This is due to vikarma. Now the word that we're going to understand is vikarma. So what is vikarma means? Vikarma means action which should not be done. Please underline this statement. There's 3 kinds of karma. Vikarma, karma, and akarma. So now we talk about vikarma first. Vikarma means action which should not be done, or the action in the mode of ignorance. Therefore, we must practice sadhana bhakti. All right. So when you talk about vikarma, madness, they take, say, like for instance, the reason sacrificial ceremony. The so many cows were killed. The cow took so much of effort. It born, it grew up, it had so much of emotional exchanges, and after that, when it turns 1 year old, sent to this slaughter place, and they killed it miserably, slit the throat. Then after that, they eat the meat, and next day, everything is thrown in the toilet. For that reason, a cow was killed. As I said that I used to go do my japa walk in a polo ground, Ipoh. I saw a Malay couple was like jogging. They were running. Then they came. Then I just, they are very nice people actually. They smile and everything. So, okay. I said, wow, burning some calories, is it? I said, yes, we have had that sacrificial ceremony and I've eaten too much of beef. I need to sacrifice it. I need to digest it. They were running. I say, only for this? No. Usually we run every day. But now we are running an extra round because after the festival, we had too much. For that, a cow was killed. That is vikarma. So therefore, we must practice sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means what? What is sadhana bhakti? Number one, which means to offer Mangala Arati, deity worship in the morning. We must do Mangala Arati. Right? And second, to refrain from certain material activity. Okay? And number three, to offer obeisances to the spiritual master. Okay? And follow many other rules and regulations, which will be discussed here one after another. So now we understand what is sadhana bhakti means. Number one, we have to offer Mangala Arati. Why Mangala Arati? Why not other Arati? Why not we just wake up and do that? Why not we just do our Arati at 8 o'clock? Is there any difference? Because Krishna says, I am everything. And there's acharyas like Prabhupada says that you should chant Hare Krishna 24 hours a day. But now the question is, why do Mangala Arati? What is so big deal waking up early in the morning, half sleep, take a cold bath, and perform Arati? What is the significance? Do you all understand my question?
Dedication.
Sorry, Mataji.
Is it showing dedication, Prabhu?
Yeah, you can even dedicate better other time word. Why need to wake up for Mangalarti then?
Kainavan, austerity.
Yeah, austerity, chanting Hare Krishna is austerity, fasting Ekadasi is austerity. So what's the big deal? Why Mangalarti? By waking up early, what big difference is going to make? Yes, Saki
The
Mataji.
orders of spiritual master, Babu.
Okay, that is secondary. But why do spiritual master need to order you to wake up early in the morning?
First thing we do before starting day, thinking of Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, but you can start your day at 10 o'clock also. But
To discipline ourselves.
yeah, but even if you don't wake up for Mangalarti, also still can be disciplined. But why waking up early in the morning can make you a disciplined person?
The time is important, Babu.
Yeah.
Madam,
Krishna
But-
says, I am Kala, I am time. Every time within the 24 hours, everything is important.
But Brahma Murta is supposed to be special, Babu.
Huh? Brahma Murta?
Supposed to be special, Babu.
Yeah, but all the time are special, but Prabhu. Even now we are discussing at 10 o'clock, still the time is special. What is the significance?
As Mataji said, before you start any other work, you better get this auspiciousness first.
Okay. Say like, for instance, I'm doing evening shift, afternoon shift, example. Right? Say I go to work at 2 o'clock, I work until 10 o'clock at night. I wake up 10 o'clock in the morning. And I wake up 10 o'clock in the morning and I do prayer. That means I'm starting my work at 2 o'clock. I'm starting my day at 10 o'clock and I do my prayers. Still the same, right? Why Mangalarti? All became quiet. Come on, let's talk.
Give us the answer, la Prabhu.
No, I want you to tell me first. Tell me why? Why Mangalarti? Why?
Maybe can give some hint, Prabhu. We try.
Hinta. Come on, anybody else? Kesavan, why Mangalarti?
Maybe that time high intensity, Prabhu.
That's what?
High intensity bhakti.
High
Time.
intensity. Intensity of?
Meaning our full focus will be during Mangalarti. Maybe
No, you can be still focused in the afternoon, but
a lot of
sometimes the
distraction,
doctors,
Prabhu.
I mean, the doctors do surgery like neurosurgeon or this kind of a specific surgery in the afternoon. Still, they are very focused. But
Less distraction, Prabhu.
less distraction. When you say if you live by the village, there's no distraction at all.
Mm.
Even the place I'm staying here, there's no distraction at all. I'm staying near the hills, so there's no distraction. No one is making noise. Only I can hear some birds. That's it. I'm not distracted now. Last one. Who want to tembak? Come on. Okay, everybody answered. What do you think, Saras Mataji? Do you have any opinion? I think she's not there. Sadguna Mataji, you want to say something after that? I saw you muted.
No problem. That's the only answer.
Okay, let me tell you why Mangalarati. The devotional service to Krishna, according to Bhajana Rahasya, a day is divided into 8 kala. It's also mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in his introduction on Bhagavad Gita. If you don't, you go to the last paragraph or second last or third last paragraph of that introduction, the 30-page introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says you should chant 24 hours according to the 8 kalas. What does that 8 kala means? Every kala means time. Kalam, 8 kalangal. 8 kala. 8 kala is divided into, per kala divided into 3 muhurta, 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours. So the 8 muhurta is divided like this. Let me see. It starts from okay, say start from the afternoon, 12 to 3. Okay, what happened 12 to 3? Krishna having lunch, offering food and giving prasadam and taking rest. So what happened? Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari. Sri Gaura Hari goes the Bihari. Please read that song. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari. The pastime where Krishna and the Gopals having lunch. You know, they'll take laddu, puli payasa, and that Madhumangal will make the sound like a blok, 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 like you put the hand in the armpit and make the sound. That's a pastime. Happened 12 to 3. After resting while the cow is grazing. Then 12, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is returning back home, taking his bath, and 4, 5, 6. And 7, 8, 9. He'll be getting prepared. He'll be playing the flute, he's putting the cows to sleep and everything. He'll be like sitting under the tree, during the thing, what they call the sun setting. And that time gopis will be very agitated. The gopis were preparing all the food quickly, because they know I have to go and see Krishna. Quickly, quickly cook for the husband, quickly prepare the child, quickly breastfeed the child, blah, 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 all be like klankabut, gabra. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All the gopis will be running towards Krishna. And that's when Krishna will be playing the flute. The 5th note is to call Radharani. The 2nd note is to call something like, okay, I forgot the notes. The first note example, just there's in a flute, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? When you press the first one, when you close the first hole, to call the cows, or to sleep the cows, to call Radharani, he know the fifth note, and to call the gopis. So like that, he'll be playing the flute. Radharani knows, okay, I've been called. So 9, 10, okay, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Okay, setting 9, 10, 11. Okay, there's a time where the gopis will be going to Radharani, to this thing, and they have Rasalila pastime. 12, 1, 2. All right, 12, 1, 2. Okay, did I got my calculation wrong? All right, so just 12, 1, 2. He'll be having Rasalila, and what they call, he'll be having a personal pastime with Mother Radharani. And the place will be set by this, what they call, Bhakti Devi, and all the gopis like Rupa Manjari and all of them. Right? Then 10, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The time where he have his personal time with Radharani. Amorous pastime. Right? After that, 4, 5, 6, that's the time. Radharani, Krishna will be resting. Radharani will be like lovingly will be lying on Krishna's lap. And Rupa Manjari will be massaging the leg. That's the time Krishna enjoy his highest ecstasy. His highest ecstasy is at that moment. After a loving exchange with Srimati Radharani. All the gopis won't be there. All the manjaris and sakis will be serving. They'll be like preparing Radharani. They'll be pressing the leg. They'll be tired. They'll be lying. Both of them will have a loving exchange, a romantic exchange. And that's the time Mangalarati starts. And when you do that Mangalarati at that time, Krishna will simply fulfill everything that you want. That is why we are doing Mangalarati at that time. After the sunrise, Krishna will run to his house, Radharani will run to the house, all the gopi will disperse. Now you got it. Krishna will go back, he take his bath and everything and start to do this, the deity greeting. That's when the deity greeting, all other things will start. But during Mangala Arati, that's the place where Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, he's in highest ecstasy. And that time when you start to do your Guru worship, Sangsara Dava Nalalida Loka, Pranaya Karunya Ganat Ganatvam, Praptasya Kalyana Gunana Vaishya, Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam. So you worship your Guru, and it's mentioned, and this song was written by who? Written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. All right. And he says the last verse, because we sing 8, but there's another one, 9th one, which we don't sing. But let me explain to you. Srimad Gurur Asta Kametat Uchair Brahma Muhurte Patati Prayatnat Yastena Vrindavananata Shakshat Sevaya Labhya Janu Shontas Eva. The last verse, he says, one who with great care and alteration loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during the Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan, at the time of his death. That's why we sing this song. Because all the spiritual masters is none other than his manjaris. And that's the time he'll be very highly in ecstasy. He'll be in so much of love. And when you start to worship the Guru and you attract Krishna, you can simply do your prayers. You don't attract him. But when you call upon his Guru or his devotee, pure devotees, he'll be looking. When he looked at you, when he started looking at you, you are under the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when you can do that early in the morning, Mangala Arati, and that's when you start to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, begging Srimati Radharani for that eternal servitorship, to become the servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani, the maid servant. All these will be fulfilled. And Radharani looked at you, please come back. Because other time, maybe she has so many, she have to look after the husband, Sudama. She have to think about this, the sister-in-law, Jatila, Kutila, sister-in-law, mother-in-law. Even she got problem with the sister-in-law, mother-in-law. How about us? Jatila, Kutila, they'll be looking, hey, where is Radharani red? Beautiful pastime. So she had all the other things to think after that. But during that, the romantic time when they were sitting under the full moon, cool breeze, you know, they'll be sitting in so much in prema. That's when the real prema, Ladini Shakti is unveiled. That's when the full things comes out. And that's the time that you go and sit there and ask, you know, and imagine what will happen. That's why Mangala Arati. Then after that, that's what, 12 to 3, then second, third, fourth Sandhya, fifth. Then after that, then 6, 7. That means when you look at that, then after that, Krishna wake up, he do his daily chores in the house, taking breakfast. Then after that, taking the cow for grazing. All in total 8. So what happened if you want to chant 24 hours? In every Sandhya that you are chanting, remember the pastimes. In this pastime, this thing happened. So when you chant Hare Krishna, say like awkwardly, you're going to chant at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, say you're going to chant at 12 o'clock. And that time you can just meditate how Krishna is eating. That's why please listen to this song. Please read this song. You know, they call Bhoga Arati. The song is Bhoga Arati. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari. And those who are offering food to Krishna, I suggest, when you put your food, Bhoga, you offer, you chant this mantra. Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati. Say Namaha. Then, Om Namo Brahmanya Devayo Brahmanitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Ding, 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 ding. Drop and go. No, don't do that. What do? You take this song and start to sing this song, Bhoga Arati. Jaya Bhakata Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari Shobhi Goshta Bihari. Ramyaka Mati Sita Hari. You know. Nanda Jaso Madi Chita Hari. Bela Holo Damodara Aisha Ekano. Boga Mandire Boshi Koraha Bojano. Okay, let me read the translation to you. It's very beautiful song, only 17 verses. Just worship the Gaura Hari who is always affectionate towards his devotee. He is the same Supreme Godhead Krishna who supported the cowherd pasture of Raja and stole the hearts of Nanda and Yashoda. Mother Yashoda calls to Krishna, my dear Damodara, it's very late. Please come right now. Sit down in the dining hall and take your lunch. On the direction of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, the holder of Govardhan, sits down, and then all the cowherd boys along with Krishna's elder brother, Sri Baladev, sit down in rows to take their lunch. They are even served a feast of Shukta, the various kind of green leafy vegetable. Sukta means leaf vegetable. Then nice fried things like pakora and all this, and salad made of green leaves of jute plant. They are also served pumpkins, basket of fruits, small square cakes made of lentils. Lentils na terima, purple, right? And cooked down milk, then thick yogurt, squashed cooked in milk, and squash cooked in milk. Okay, then vegetable preparation made from flower of the banana tree. Then they receive fried square mung dal patties and urad dal, ulundu patties, chapatis and rice with ghee. Next, sweets made with milk, sugar and sesame, rice flour, cakes, thick cooked down milk, cakes floating in milk, and sweet rice, pongal. There is also sweet rice and that tastes just like nectar due to its being mixed with camphor. சூடம் கற்பூரத்தை போடுவாங்க தெரியுமா? அந்த என்ன சோறு, பொங்க சோறுல வந்து பொங்க சாதம், பொங்கல் சோறு, பொங்கல் செஞ்சுட்டு கற்பூரம் போடுவாங்க. When you put karpuram, the taste even become enhanced. Right? due to being mixed with camphor. There are bananas, cheese which is nectarian and delicious. They are also served 12 kinds of sour preparation made with tamarinds, puli, limes, lemon, oranges, and pomegranates. There are puris made with white flour and sugar. Puri is filled with cream, laddus, and dal patties boiled in sugared rice. Krishna eagerly eats all the food. You know what is sugared rice? Have you all tried sugared rice before? That is quite common for North Indians. You know, the rice they make like a rice, the rice will be like nasi goreng. It will be dry, but when you eat, it is sweet. All right. It is quite common in North Indians. All right. If you have any chance, if you go for any North Indian temple festival, especially in Ipoh, we have a Krishna Dharma temple. All the North Indian Gujaratis, you go there, they give you that. Hey, it look like rice, but they put little. I say, why did you do that? Wow, so sweet, very nice. In great ecstasy and joy, Krishna eats the rice, curried vegetable, sweets, and pastries cooked by Srimati Radharani. Krishna's funny Brahmana friend Madhu Mangal, who is very fond of laddus, get them by hook or crook. Can you just imagine? He tried to get that thing by hook or crook. He shouts, Haribol, and makes funny sound by slapping the side under his armpit with his hand. That means he just like hit the thumpit, no? Haribol, like that. He'll be like having so much of fun. And beholding Radharani and a gopi, friends, out of the corner of his eyes. That means while eating, side look. Ora kannale, he'll be looking at Radharani and gopis. You know, like that. Okay, this is going to be too long and it's going to be very ecstatic. Okay, anyway, just few more verses. All right. So then after they take rest with Balaram. After the cowherd boys wash their hands and mouth, they take rest, and two cowherd boys, Jambula and Rasala, then bring Krishna pan and betel nut, vetala, you know, this thing. And fancy spices and chatechu. Mother Yasoda requests Gopi Dhanishta bring remnants food. Okay, Lalita Devi. Okay, anyway, this is by Thakuru. So when you're going to sing this song while offering, that is afternoon. So what happened when you're chanting at that time? Try to read this thing and just imagine, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, he's eating that. Oh, he's eating this. And now, Ora Kannala Radharaniya Paakkurathu. That is how you meditate in 8 Kala. When you can do that 8 Kala, you can go on chanting 24 hours. Anyway, I'm going out of the topic. I'm so sorry for that because I got so excited with this. Anyway, that is now we understand what is Mangala Arati. All right. One Mangala Arati is very important. Okay. You all got my this thing? Thumbs up if you understand. That is why Mangala Arati is very important. Okay. Saki Mataji, you got the idea? Oh, she's cooking.
Yes, Prabhu.
Am I?
So much.
எப்படி இருக்கு நல்லா இருக்குல்ல அதான் that's why Mangala Arati is very important. You want to get a boon from Krishna, Mangala Arati. Wake up early in the morning, you do your Guru Puja. After you do your Guru Puja, Sangsara Dava Nalalida Loka. Then after that, you do your Tulasi Puja. Namo Nama, Tulasi Krishna Prayasi, Namo Nama. So you just do that Tulasi Puja. After that, you put the Tulasi in the middle, you sit at the side comfortably, you just look at the Tulasi and start to chant. When you chant, think about what Krishna is doing at this time. All right? So anyway, so I hope one day we can also speak on Bhajana Rahasya. Okay, anyway, which we'll discuss here. Okay, the practice will help one become cured. Okay, so now what happened? These practice can help one become cured of madness. If a person immediately wants to come out of this madness, Mangala Arati is a secret. As man's mental disease is cured by direction of psychiatrists. All right, the mental disease can be cured by the psychiatrist. Similarly, the sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul of his madness under the spell of Maya or material illusion. Sa bhakti saptamas skande pangya devarshinodita yata saptame tasmat kena pyupayena mana Krishna niveshayet. Right? So it's Skanda Puran, Saptamasana. Okay. So Narada Muni mentioned in Sadhana Bhakti. Now, because like we understand that Bhakti, Rupa Goswami is going on details, so he's referring from all that. Now he's quoting from Narada Muni. Mentioned Sadhana Bhakti in Srimad Bhagavatam, where in Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 32, verse 32. He says to King Yudhishthira, he told King Yudhishthira, my dear king, One who has fixed his mind on Krishna by any means, all right, that is called Krishna consciousness. It is the duty of Acharya, the spiritual master, to find the ways of means for his disciple to fix his mind on Krishna. His job is to do that. That is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. That's why the beginning, all our spiritual master says, follow the 4 regulative principle and chant Hare Krishna. Wake up for Mangalarti. That's the first instruction they give. All right? So, okay, anyway, I don't want to go into the detail now. It's going to take a long time. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us authorized program for this purpose. Who gave? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave an authorized program for this purpose. So, it's centered around the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The chanting has so much power. Believe in that. Believe the chanting has much power that is immediately attached one to Krishna. Okay? That is immediately can attach one to Krishna. That is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. So the beginning of the sadhana bhakti is to chant. Then after sadhana bhakti, you go into the level of bhava, you continue chanting. Then after from bhava, you going into prema, you continue chanting. So sadhana, you chant 16 rounds. You want to go bhava, you chant 64 rounds. You want to go to prema, you chant 192 rounds. Okay? You 4 round chant பண்ண முடியல, you're talking about this. Can possible? Don't worry. Just do your minimum 16, that's all. That's why I propose do your 16 first. And after that, he says, this is minimum. Don't stay there. I have read some of the acharyas, the story about the acharyas. Why? They say they all chant 192 rounds or 300,000 names of Krishna. 64 rounds means 1 lakh name, Laksha. We studied that in Nectar of, Harinam Chintamani. Laksha, 100,000 when you chant 64 rounds. When you chant double, 64 times 2, 128, you are doing 200,000. If you can triple it, it's 300,000. So, of course, you want to, but first of all, before you could do that, maximum you're 16 first. But don't stay there. Always try to attempt 64 on a daily basis. 64. Because I've seen devotees, even some devotees are here. Right? Can anyone like to share about your 64 rounds japa a day? Nanda Mataji, you like to share some your any feelings?
Prabhu, I used to chant 64 rounds. Now I don't do that.
How
As
long
I
you didn't
told,
do?
a year plus ready, Prabhu. Because
Oh,
after
good.
after I broke my hand, I'm finding it very difficult to even do 32 rounds because the hand hurts a lot.
Okay.
Uh, so I'm doing 16 rounds
So
and all.
the injured hand is your right hand, is it?
Yeah, it's my right hand.
Why
So
not you chant on your
I changed and I chant using my left hand as well. But my left hand thumb is also not good. So I start
Okay.
having
Then what you should do, you can do with your clicker.
click okay,
Clicker,
but
you can press with any of the finger. You can use this
yes,
finger, you can use this finger. Any finger.
but the thing is that my concentration is not there, and sometimes I don't click it right.
Better than not chanting at all.
Yes.
Okay, now, based on your experience, how do you feel chanting 64 rounds a day?
It's simply wonderful. It keeps you focused on Krishna and keeps your day going so nicely. And even
Mhm.
after you stop chanting, the mantra is still running in my mind. Even when
And
I'm
your
sleeping,
thumb stays
even
still,
when
right?
even when I'm sleeping, it's going on in my mind.
Exactly.
Yes,
Imagine at that moment, a person leaves the body means how?
yes.
While chanting
64
Hare Krishna.
beautiful. Yes. It's just there all the time. Even like when you go for a walk or something, also it's automatically it comes. It's there running in your mind. Like when I used to have trouble in sleeping because the mantra is always running in my mind at night.
Hmm.
But it was a
How easy
experience.
4 rounds?
Sorry, Prabhu.
How easy to do 64 rounds?
How easy to do 64 rounds. I used to start in the mornings. 3 o'clock I get up, I shower everything, I'll sit down. By 5 o'clock I'll finish my first 16 rounds.
Hmm.
Then after that, I'll start cooking and all that because my daughter goes to work.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, was it very easy to chant 64 rounds? Is it easy or very hard?
no, it's actually easy.
Very easy, right?
Doing 64 is actually easy.
Okay. When you do
What?
64 rounds, how do you find 16 rounds?
No, you're breaking, Prabhu.
No, after you do 64 rounds,
Uh-huh.
how do you find chanting 16 rounds? Is it easy or very hard?
No, 16 rounds becomes very easy after that.
Like nothing, right?
16 rounds
Yes.
becomes very easy after that.
Exactly. Like you chant 16 rounds like no big deal, right?
Yes, yes. It's nothing already.
Right,
16 rounds is nothing after that.
But because usually devotee get excited when they finish 16. Yes, I done my 16, put on the beds. But now when you do 64, 16, okay. 32. Yeah.
It's not 16 is nothing actually. Once you start doing 64, 16 becomes nothing.
Nothing.
Then
Exactly.
and then short while later you have the temptation, you want to do another 16 rounds. Then you want to do another
Exactly.
16 rounds. Yeah, it becomes like that. Initially when we start, it's of course like 16 rounds was tough. But when I did my 64 rounds, 16 became very, very easy and it was like tempting, after you finish 16 rounds, you want to do another 16. That's how I felt.
Okay, now what do you do, Mataji? You take your buy a clicker.
Uh-huh.
You try to do as much as you can in your beats. Then after that, do in this thing.
Click up, okay.
64 rounds means it's only 6,920 mantras a day. That's all.
Yeah.
So in your clicker, you see 6912, you're done 64.
Okay.
Because I got a devotee here who also inspired by this training, by who used to come for our classes before. He said he was thinking when we all can do 64, why he's not doing 64? He started doing 64. And I asked, how long do you take? She takes something 3.5 to 4 hours. Exactly, that's all. Because when you do 64 rounds and you become so good at it, there's a chance for you finishing 16 rounds in 45 minutes. So roughly it takes 3 hours plus, you can finish your 64 rounds. But if you do more, if you do 100, 120, you find the 64 will become even easier.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to go into that detail further because now I'm attempting to do more than 64 now. I'm trying. Roughly, I'm hitting 75, 73, 75. I finish my round, I'll feel very tired. Only 75. Anyway, so try to go more. Okay, anyway, so now you're talking about the sadhana. So that means immediately the chanting is so much power, I'm telling you. It immediately attach one to Krishna. And that is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. That's when your sadhana is started. Somehow or other, one has to fix his mind on Krishna. The great Saint Ambarish Maharaj, although a responsible king, he fixed his mind on Krishna. And similarly, anyone who tries to fix his mind in this way will be rapidly make progress in successfully reviving the original Krishna consciousness. All right. So, okay. So this one we continue tomorrow because this is also going to take a very long discussion here. Okay, before that, I need to talk to you something. Okay, please, anyway, mark your book first. Vaidhi Raga Nuga. Now, this Sadhana Bhakti. Breathing. Okay, now this is very important. Even I also have a long marking on my book. Everything is a very important topic. Page 21. Mark your page 21, the last paragraph. 21. All right. So tomorrow we're going to continue tomorrow. Tomorrow Friday we're going to continue the session. Okay. So any questions? Do you have any questions? Any comments? Do you feel that you have today's session was really inspired you? Okay. Those who are not chanting 16 rounds, go for your 16. Okay. And once you go for 16, then you do more. You feel very exciting. Very exciting. So any other comments? Anything you want to ask? Saki Mataji, you're good? Okay, she's
Hare
cooking.
Krishna, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. எல்லாம் நல்லா புரிஞ்சுச்சு, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Now I want to ask you something. See, we are doing class Monday and Friday. In between, there's a 3 days, 4 days, 3 days gap. Do you feel good with it? I feel something missing a lot. What do you all feel?
Come again, Prabhu. Line breaking.
Right. So before we end, is there anything that you'd like to share? All good? Or if there's any takeaway, maybe you can share to me personally. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I am really grateful to each and every one of you for joining this session. I'm feeling so much of an ecstatic feeling studying this book along with you. All right. Please remember, I'm not lecturing. I am studying with you. All right. It's a group studies. All right. Till we meet again tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock. Have a very blissful day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.